Welcome to the Life After Life podcast, where we explore our soul's physical and non-physical journey. I'm Majona. Let's discuss angels, guides, and loved ones from the other side. Hello and welcome back. So as always, before we turned on the mics here, I kind of got centered and was asking for guidance. What do I talk about? And I wasn't expecting this. The word obligation came through. So, I'm listening and sometimes I get a feeling and sometimes it's just very much an audible response. And very audibly, the word obligation came through. And then the word plea. So interesting. It's that I have an obligation. Parents, this is for you. I am putting out a plea on your children's behalf. And the gist of this plea is, please don't assume that my invisible friends are imaginary.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Ooh.
So, if you've done much study or reading, then, about any of these topics, you're probably aware that children oftentimes are more open to hearing and seeing spirits from the other side than adults are. And I've done some really interesting studies on this with my own kids and then at preschools and like daycare center, really observing kids and their interactions. So they truly do. There's also a more of an interconnectedness, and I just think kids see energy. I think they can see auras and they can see energy that adults can't necessarily see.
Probably up to the first couple of 3 years.
Yes.
Depends, but
I think, yeah.
It can go for a while.
It can go for a while. And so I even homeschooled my youngest, hoping that maybe keeping him out of the norm where people are, this isn't acceptable because we sort of live where in some cases it's not acceptable.
They're the Addams family, and they're just a little different than we are.
All right, Lurch, thanks. So I was hoping to help him hang on to this. And, I think it did, but not for like a long time, just a little bit. He was certainly more comfortable talking about it. And I don't know that it really came up for him with friends. Anyway, I don't think he talked about it with friends other than at home anyway. So, that theory kind of got shot down.
Well, if you look at the development of the ego, by age 6, the ego is pretty much developed and large and in charge. So it would be I think it would be a real abnormality for this to be strongly present after the age of around 6.
That's probably true. And I also think it's just part of the human design.
Yeah.
We're here.
That's the development.
Yeah, we're here to learn lessons. We are here to experience humanity. You probably heard that expression. You're actually a soul having a human experience, or a spirit having a human experience. And if we could remember everything about being disincarnate, that would really negate what's happening here.
Be like going to a football game as a participant and knowing exactly how the game was going to unfold, right?
Boring.
Yeah, there's no game to that.
Exactly.
That's showing up for a play that you already know the ending.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so as frustrating as that is sometimes, I just have to assume that somebody with far more intelligence than I designed all of this and certainly didn't consult me on this.
They will next time.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. So what does this look like for kids? And the coolest thing that I absolutely love is when parents suspect or at least are open to their kids are seeing something the parents can't see. And they call me or email me or whatever. And it's like, hey, this happened. What do you think? And I've had some very touching phone calls with the kids. That's so great because one of my, this just made my heart was hurting initially. And then I was so happy This little boy was probably 7, maybe. And his mom, I happen to know her, she called and said, he just told me he's been seeing like a shadow in his room for a couple weeks, and he's afraid to go in there. And I wondered why he didn't want to go to sleep at night. And this is what's happening. And it's freaking him out, and he's afraid of it. Now, this happened to be a family that was very open to all of this, but didn't personally experience it. So, but Mom was open to the possibility. And she said, he's afraid because he doesn't know what it is, and I don't know what to tell him. Would you talk to him? Absolutely. So he came on the phone, and I said, well, can you tell me what you were seeing? Well, it was pretty vague. It was just movement in his room, kind of out of the corner of his eye. He didn't see anything up front, up close and personal. So I asked him, how did it feel? Did you feel, to forget about what you were seeing, just how did you feel? Did you feel scared? Did you feel anything angry? Did you feel anything pleasant or laughing? Because, so I talked about, just think about your mom. You're safe there. Without even looking at her, can you feel her energy? Do you know when she's angry without even looking at her? Oh, yeah. Do you know when she's really happy when she enters a room without even looking at her? Yes, I do. This is the same. So without worrying about what you were seeing, what were you feeling? So his conclusion was really nothing. It really wasn't a big deal. There wasn't anything negative or positive. It was really just neutral. So we talked about possibilities, and my reassurance to him was that he's in complete control. Always trust your feeling more than your eyes. Your eyes are human. Yeah. So trust what you're feeling and really go with that and realize that you're in complete control. So if you don't want that being in your room, ask them not to be. You have the power to do that. It's your space. Just like if your sister walked in there, you could ask her to leave. You can do the same thing here. We also talked about angels. You have all these angels to help you. And if you get scared or you get concerned, just ask the angels to intervene as well. So you have all this protection. And as we talked about it, he just became so much lighter. And then he actually got a little bit excited about this. Wait a minute, I have angels? I have like this whole personal army of angels? That's just cool. So it just completely shifted for him. I think just holding that space for our kids and letting them know, even if it's a shadow, because sometimes they do see full-blown grandma or grandpa or whomever. If it's not that, or if it is, that no matter what, it's okay. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with this situation. And the cooler thing would be, even if you could present it as, oh, that is so cool, I wish I could do that. When my kids got older, and one of my children would sense spirits, but really didn't see them until she was in 5th grade. And we had an earthbound spirit hanging out in the house for a couple of days. And he was hanging out down by the pantry. And this was not an uncommon experience. This can be a full-time job. So my agreement was, hey, if you need me, you need to really get my attention. Otherwise, just kind of hang out, leave, whatever. But I'm busy. So I was aware that this man was hanging out there, but nobody else in my house was seeing him. One day, she was in 5th grade, was the first downstairs, and she came upstairs with a very funny look on her face. And she said, hey, Mama, there's this guy hanging out downstairs. And I was so happy for her. I was like, where's he hanging out? She said, by the pantry. I said, yeah. So I went over and high-fived her and gave her a hug. And, this is awesome. This is the first time you're seeing a spirit. He's been there for a couple of days, and I'm so excited that now you get to see them. So, the way you approach it certainly dictates the way they're going to respond to it. And I just feel so bad for these kids that are continually told, it's your imagination. There's nothing there. It's in your imagination. When they know it's not.
Yeah, that's a big shutdown.
It is. So, if you're listening to this podcast, there's a good chance you're going to be open. But if you spread that word, be an advocate for these kids and help raise our vibration and our connection, because that veil can be very thin. And if it became the norm in this country for people to be talking to spirits and interacting, oh my gosh, could we make advances or what? And just our consciousness would expand. So that's my obligation, as I'm told, to put out a plea on behalf of the children. And your kids are welcome to email me as well. Love to hear that. You can get us at Majona@lifeafterliferadio.com. Until next time, namaste.